Good morning, one and all. A warm welcome to the 20th webinar of the Saturday webinar series on the topic creating value with supply chain management. Myself, Kaushik, a business executive at Manage CIA. Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship is a center of excellence in agribusiness incubation, hosted at National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management. It is one of the leading agribusiness incubators in India. Manage CI has incubated more than 275 startups from various focus areas of the Agri and Allied sectors. Regarding today's topic, like if you eat food, you're involved in the agriculture. It's that simple. It's very critical for us to have access to good, high quality, and nutritious food. On a basic note, we can say a network between a company and its suppliers to produce and distribute a specific product to the end user is termed as supply chain. Today's data-driven integrated supply chains are enabling companies to reduce the cost and add value, extend resources, accelerate time to market, and ultimately retain customer. And supply chain management, in other words, can be termed as the integrated process of producing value for the end user for the best user experience. To address these challenges and opportunities in the space, today we have our eminent speakers who are entrepreneurs and are here to share their thoughts as well as their experiences with the participants. I request Dr. Saravanan Raj, Director, Agriculture Extension, National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, and CEO of Manage CIA, to give the opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kausik, and thank you for all for attending today's webinar. And I see a lot of repeat customers, or we can call. It is a lot of people we can see, and somebody names I can see again, even if not faces. At least names are very familiar because so many webinars. It's a good. I'm happy to know that many webinars are. It is useful, and you are making it is lively, and you having a lot of interesting questions, and chat box it is full of questions that makes a lot of difference actually. Even many of mentors and other those who are resource persons, really they are happy about the way our participants, those who are on Saturday webinars participating. It's very interesting, and as usual today also very interesting. Mr. Jagadish Sungad and Miss Anumina is there here with today. They will be with us, and Mr. Jagadish always is very much part of our startup cohorts, and he will be there and he will be talking, and very often very knowledgeable and very exciting, and a lot of great insights we'll get. And as Kausik told, everywhere supply chain management people talk. Even agriculture, if you see, large number of startups are they talk about supply chain management, but I may not be talking in anyway. Mr. Jagadish is there. I am not something like supply chain management expert or something, but as a farmer's point of view, I just a few. I wonder sometime, and I hear large number of startups always across the country. We are hearing even RKV Raptar, otherwise also other our incubation programs. The supply chain management, they will come large number of startups, and they first they will talk and telling one interesting word they will tell, cutting the middleman. Just they tell 90% of the startups whomever came, this word I used to hear. We are reducing the middleman or cutting the middleman. We are removing the middleman, like that. But sometimes no, I don't really understand. And why we need to remove somebody, and we are trying to go for something increasing the efficiency, or that's fine. I understand totally, fully I will understand, but always it is so many levels we are going. That's why farmers are not getting like that. But my experience with agri business and agripreneur startups, it sometimes it is saying other way. It is sometimes it is painful actually. Our startups are agripreneurs, those who are coming, and They are reducing, they are telling, cutting the middleman or whatever. But I'm talking layman. Mr. Jagadish is there or any other, those people are management experts, kindly excuse me. I'm talking a little layman's language and please excuse me, don't mind it. And that means they tell, because we are reducing so many, we are making a better profit to farmers. They will tell only farmers. But it is not necessarily. No, we need to create the better environment, better what you call better developmental prospects for all the stakeholders, those who are part of entire our system, agriculture development system. It is not many times very emotionally they put it farmers, but not farmers are very important. We understand, but not only farmers, all, including those called middlemen, because no time immemorial they may be the one of the persons really they help the farmers. Maybe in the way of before starting fintech startups like that, those days they never known fintech some 30, 40 or 60 years before, but they are fintech startups. They used to give money to farmers to cultivate. Those middlemen we call today like something, they are very, very terrorists like that, we brand them. And they are the fintech startups. They are the all in all. Entire thing, they are the family well-wishers, many of the. It is, I'm not talking something generalized way. My own farm, I seen the middlemen, and those days, not connecting even farmers produce market very tough. And today we have the facilities are more, and logistic facilities and other things to come up. But those days, if I talk a little beyond 30 years before I'm talking, it's a very difficult, even developed states like Tamil Nadu, or you call it as Maharashtra, it is very difficult. Farmer, he is staying something 15 or 30, 20 kilometers away from district headquarters. I'm talking 30 years before. But today it is not like that. Those days, no, they are the people, really, they help the agriculture. Fine. Today, this 30 years agriculture grown, there is a transformative change and a lot of technologies are come. But end of the day, those days, something 10 rupees sold, farmers may be selling 100 rupees, same thing. But the whatever economic benefit is getting, it is not equally increased. There is no transformative change in the getting the income for the farmers. And even our startups, we see there is somewhere, there are articles, the middlemen, those who are local and very traditional, they will be replaced by, in the name of startup supply chain management, by those who are putting highly educated, and there is, they put what you call pant and shirt and to designer suits they are getting, they will talk hi-fi, and they are very well educated middlemen like that there is. And also no, with because those days traditional way supply chain, it is taken to many people, but today very few people accumulating. The idea is all our startups and how the value we can create to all the stakeholders. And it is not getting wealth, and the end of the day, it is not only farmers, even consumers should be benefited. That's the whole food security or nutritional security, or consumers need to get better price and relatively advantage they need to get when startups are coming. My whole idea is when we talk a lot of supply chain management, it's need to ensure that benefits to the whatever we are telling, because of high tech, whatever supply chain we are making innovative, disruptive, but it's ensure to the benefit to the all the stakeholders. Unless otherwise, it is only ensure to the only startups or one certain people, and the initial stages more to consumers. Then again taking back once they are accustomed to with somebody startups and leaving. Those type of things it should not be, because we are making over the years, they are dependent on some startups, some middlemen, we call those who are very neighbor, they are helping and taking care. But today suddenly will disturb, then farmers become more relied on startups. And tomorrow we should not change. My point is, startups are not the business, something like, it is something like same, the way you call middlemen, they are taken a lot of the share of the market, whatever cost getting. That's why we need to see that, and this whole startup ecosystem, how much benefits happening, that should go all the people and farmers also. That's why, these startups, whatever we talk in supply chain management everywhere, we see country also sees they are developmental partners. They are not only making the agriculture become very vibrant, but they are developmental partners. And anyway, we will come back to you anyway. Experts are there in supply chain management, and there are startups, and there are many of them doing really great work. And even one of our startups makes whatever they are getting supply chain become more efficient. Again, they will go back to the farmers and they will pay at least 20 to 30% of their profit, whatever getting to the farmers. They really try to ensure the better prices. Like that, there are a large number of startups are coming. And my only point is we should not replace with middlemen and the same way in the name of startups. My point is something very specific, very straightforward. Maybe somebody may have difference of opinion. We can have discussed later on. But I was talking from a farmer's point of view, and this system, because startups I see in agriculture, we need to have a lot of social enterprising mind. Actually, it is not only gaining the profit, and we also need to support the entire developmental process. That's why we won't see in the managed, they are all something startups making business. We need to grow billions. We never count how much cost they are getting in revenue, but how many farmers they are helping, how they are living, and how much satisfied with their service like that. See, but money is important, we understand, but at the same time, how they are serving the farming community. And with this, I'll stop here, and we look forward to hear. There is again interesting combination. There is one experienced mentor is with us, supply chain Miss Dr. Mr. Jagadish is there, and there is a startup, Madam Anumina is there, and it is that's very quite interesting combination. They are coming, and we hope today also there will be very exciting inputs from the startups. And my inputs nothing related to any startup or today's topic, but supply chain management when tell always people are telling always I used to hear, but middlemen also they facilitate a lot. They are also developmental partners many times. That's why we may not dismiss them totally, because they are traditionally they are helping agriculture in big way. Thank you very much. Mr. Kausik, please take forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your thoughts. Starting with the first speaker, we have Miss Anumina. She's joining shortly. Bit of technical issue out there, but in the meanwhile, she's basically the founder of AgroWave, and she's graduated from IIT Delhi in 2016. And post that, she's got a couple of corporate experiences. She started AgroWave in 2017 to solve the problem of her grandfather and the farmers. Not to forget, she's been listed in the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia. She's also the top 10 innovators of India, and by India Today magazine, and awarded by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Global Gandhi Award 2019. She's an inspiration for many entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs out there. So request Ms. Anumina. Yeah, she's facing a technical issue. In the meanwhile, we can have general discussions about the supply chain. Shortly, we'll try to join her. Sorry for the interruption.
You can speak. Yeah. So, Meena is on the call.
Yeah. Is there any introduction, something like how is the quiz structured? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
प्रोडक्ट पे न्यूज़ पढ़ रहा था टाइम कंप्यूटर ना
अच्छा यहाँ पे इसे साफ मना कर दो यहाँ पे नहीं है इसमें कहाँ होगी फाइल
आपको अंदर डॉक्टर आजी मदर
ये तो दो अलमारी है
இல்ல அந்த கோவிட்னால தான அது இதாயிச்சு ஐயா போன வருஷம் கோவிட்னால இல்லனா போன வருஷம் மே மாசத்துல வந்து பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் இவங்கள வர பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் கனடா பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் வர மாதிரி இருந்தது
A lot of
உலக
everybody
அளவுல
go on
தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு
mute.
கோதுமை உற்பத்தி பண்றது முடியல
नहीं लगती ऑनलाइन समझती क्यों नहीं
அதனால இதுக்காக அது அமைப்பு பெரியகுளம் போயிருக்க ஒரு டாக்டர் சரவணன் மீட் பண்ண டாக்டர் தமிழ்நாடு அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் ப்ரொஃபசர் அவர் பிஆர்எஸ் வாங்கிட்டாரு மதுரை
Kindly mute yourself. And
இவன் நம்ம தான் வைக்கிறாங்களா அது போயிட்டு வாங்க
yeah, there is a small, there is a startup. They are trying to connect with all, but she is continuously facing. There is a problem, and Mr. Mahendra, supply chain. Anything you want to tell your opinion? Anyway, we'll wait some time because these days somebody may be remote area they are calling. Sorry for the inconvenience, and she will be joining shortly. She is trying to join. And any other startups, those who are working in supply chain, they can hear their opinion. We can have a little small discussion. Meantime, she's trying to talk. She was morning, she was quite okay, but again, she got some technical issues. And anybody want to talk on supply chain? Our own startups are there, yeah.
Hello, Dr. Sarvanan. Good morning. And you rightly and correctly raised the point that today's ecosystem of Arthia has been replaced by qualified, intermediary agencies like startups. However, there are two critical issues right now. What we witness is this game of supply chain is not consistent, profit-making thing. Most of the time you lose money, most of the time you earn money. And there is a need of, of system, a cooperative system where the profit can be, shared with farmers. But at the same time, there is a strong, need and requirement. The ownership and entrepreneurship mindset has to be reinculcated in.
Yeah, Dr. Naresh, you can go on.
As far as today's, system of farmer producer organization and all these interventions are concerned, how are we going to, improve the mindset of farmers? That is very, primary thing, and that is very much required thing. And we need to work on this. That way, the farmers will be able to, take the risk as far as this whole business ecosystem is concerned. And then the profit can be claimed by farming communities logically. That's my opinion as of now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Naresh. It's insightful, really. Yeah, farmers need to be aware more. They need to be partners. It is not like olden days farmers, and again, now they are in group. Then farmer organizations and those who are managing the affairs, they should be well aware about the things, and they need to be equal partners with all the people, those who are collaborating with the farmer producer organization. Then only mutually they can need to benefit, they can go big way. And also we need to change the whole understanding of farmers or competence. They may change, time changes, and farmers always very wise and they are very good because they will work most of the time field or whatever. they may not get time for everything many times, but now there may be advantages, and now there is a lot of awareness due to the digital media, other things, and also slowly next generation also there are educated farmers are coming big way. Time will change again. This farmers producer organization really it will change because they are working with large number of supporting organizations, and many of the the leaders, those who lead the or with, along with the people, those who are joined together, mobilized together, they surely will have a lot to say. There are whomever successful uh, producer organization you see, there are people are they are empowered and they know things what they are doing and what they're supposed to do. That happens. It takes time, but it happens. Thank you, Dr. Naresh, for making a very interesting observation and also your suggestion. Some others want to talk, I think. Anybody?
Sir, sorry for the interruption, sir. Anumina is available
Yeah.
on the call, sir.
Yeah, so
It's available.
I
You can
would
start. Yeah.
like to add my opinion here. Can I speak? Hello?
Hello.
So,
Yeah, can I
yeah,
speak?
just can you wait on some time? We can discuss it later also. There is a speaker is connecting, trying to connect through phone already. She is online. We'll hear with the startup, then we can go for it. We can discuss later also. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Tausik, please go ahead with the Ms. Anu's present.
Yes.
This one, yeah.
Yes, Meena ma'am, you can start the session.
Okay. So I would like to add my point here. What you guys were discussing already on the farmer profits. I mean, the sharing the profit with the farmers. So I feel like we as an organization work on daily basis with farmers and buying different communities from different so I feel like the concept seems okay of sharing profits with farmers, but when your organization is in losses, they don't have
Sorry,
the
excuse me,
capacity,
madam.
to pay the
Excuse
losses
me.
and profits.
Tausik, can you unmute all? Because many are again unmuted. Kindly mute all, no? Only.
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah. So for example, sometimes we're buying, let's say some products from them in like 15 rupees and sometimes they're selling in 10 rupees, so there's a huge loss. So I feel like, what they want is they want whatever price they're getting currently in the market, they want better prices, but I feel they're not okay sharing profits because this is a market where the price fluctuations are really high and it depends a lot on what scale you're operating, what kind of technologies you're using, where you're operating, what kind of commodities you're dealing in, and all. There are a lot of factors which includes and whether you're making profits or or you're reaching to the scale. It also depends on the company's goal, whether you want to reach to a scale or whether you want to reach to a profit from from a year or something. So I feel it's in my opinion, personally, working with farmers, it's not something which is feasible that you can share profits of the company with the farmers. But definitely, what you can give is you can give them better prices than what they're getting, and then you as a company can optimize overall, supply and demand mapping and can see how do you minimize the losses or how do you make profits in later stage when the company scaled in multiple cities with millions of farmers. So I think this is my opinion on this. And if I talk on like overall supply chain, the way we are working, so generally supply chain is driven by demand mostly in most of the industries. But in agriculture, if you see, especially in fruits and vegetables, it's always supply driven. There is no way of telling farmers there is no overall consolidate way that people are telling farmers that next year you have to grow this much of potato, next year you have to grow this much of tomato, next year you have to grow this much of that commodity, right? So it's whatever they have grown, we have to consume. It's that way. This is going that way currently in our country, at least. So, we as a company, what we are doing is we are basically buying these fruits and vegetables from across different states, and it's like we have built some mobile ticket stations, like bus stations, where farmers can come and sell their produce through the mobile app. They can place requests, what they want to sell, how much they want to sell, what rates they want to get, and all. And we are buying the produce from them, and we're buying all the products, all the produce, all fruits and vegetables, and we are asking them to give us specific grades, the specific qualities and all. So we as a company are supply driven. So let's say there are companies who are buying the produce whenever they're having demand. Whereas what we're doing is we are at every station. Let's say we have one mobile pickup station in one village. So whoever farmer is coming, what we're saying is that we will be buying every product. We're buying every product in fruits and vegetables, and it's our habit to sell the produce or to create the demand, or whether we want, where we want to sell, how much. How much to hotels, or how much to restaurants, or how much to some other businesses, or in the consumers, or whatever it is, right? But we as a company are saying that we'll be buying all of your produce at better rates, and then everything else is our habit. So this is how it is working. And in supply chain, if you talk about the challenges, I feel logistics is one of the major challenge, and it is also one of the major cost. For example, we have monthly fixed vehicles which are going to these different stations, collecting the produce and all. So aligning these vehicles and times and all, there is a lot of change in just in time. Like there are some demand fluctuations. There are, in terms of supply also, you really don't know. Let's say, for example, if you talk about carrot, before it harvests, you really don't know like how good the quality is, right? So I think logistics is one of the challenge, and the second challenge is also the quality mapping. Because you need skilled labor if you really want to have the qualities which you want or your clients want. So for us, I think quality has really been a challenge, and there is no automate solution for this. We really need labor for different kinds of commodities. For example, if we talk about onion and potatoes, probably there are machines, we're not using right now, but there are machines through which we can segregate the size and all. But if you talk about, for example, let's say carrots, or let's say cabbage, or let's say cauliflower, we need the human judgment for the quality check, right? So I think these are the two challenges we are facing right now, and we are building parallel solutions. Some of them are, like for the logistics, we are building smart route mapping, which helps us to optimize the route, not only in terms of distance, but also, which commodity we are bringing in that truck, what condition, what condition of that commodity, what volume, and all those things, so that it will be going to whether Delhi or other cities we are operating in all. So we are building solutions across optimization for transportation, the route optimization, and then we are working on data-driven supply demand mapping also, which will help us to give better price to farmers, because we'll be able to optimize our demand in terms of where we're selling, at what price we are selling. And then we're also working on price selection model, because how do you decide that what price you'll be giving to farmers? That is the price discovery mechanism should be there. Everywhere it is there, which is manual maybe right now. So we also right now how we do it, we basically wherever we are selling, we see the selling prices, and we see the mandi prices, what price they're getting, and accordingly we give them prices. And now we are working on a price prediction engine where, when these farmers are using our mobile app to sell their produce from different mobile ticket stations, they'll be, they'll be able to see a predicted price once they submit what they want to sell, how much they want to sell, from where they want to sell, all those things. So majorly in terms of technology, we're working on these three things. And in terms of operating overall, our demand is in Delhi NCR, and we are buying from different states. We're buying from Rajasthan, we're buying from Haryana, and we're buying from UP and MP also. So these are the states from where we are buying different commodities. And almost 15 commodities we are buying directly from the farmers as of now. I think that's it. I would be more happy to interact with the audience and to to answer the questions.
ओके बरोबर છે આવતી ઓગસ્ટ લાખ એટલે તમારે આમાં ગોઠવી લેવાય કેમ કઈ છું તમને નવેમ્બર કોણ નોકરી આપશે
So I request the audience to raise their hands or keep it in the chat box, or at least like we can go one-on-one with Anumina. Ma'am, they're asking to be a bit louder regarding your audio. They're asking to be a bit louder. They're not able to hear you. If you have any questions, that would be great, like interactive questions, or else, to drop it in the chat box. Yeah. Mr. Suresh? Ma'am, we have a question. Do you have any inventory? How do you go about it?
Sorry, the voice is really, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, they're saying that do you have any inventories? How do you go about it?
Do you have what?
Inventories.
Sorry, I'm not getting you.
Inventory.
Inventory, okay.
Yeah.
So we have a warehouse where, we have a warehouse in Delhi NCR, located between Delhi and Gurgaon. So we have the packing and all those things at warehouse, and then the final dispatch of the orders, happens from the warehouse only, because we have orders from different segments. Like we have PGs, we have hotels, we have restaurants, we have retailers, and we have some big orders, big retailers. So yeah, we have warehouse where but we try to minimize inventory as much as possible, because holding the fresh produce is not something which is very good, because the price fluctuation is really high and the quality degrades every day. So it's not advisable. But in terms of onion, tomato, we can hold for like 3-4 days. So yeah, like we have warehouse.
Okay. So we have a question from Canada, a person from Chainali, who's like having a difficult challenge over there. Like, what is the average age of a farmer is 55 years, and most of the younger generation is not interested in farming activities. So how do you educate the farmers?
Yeah. So, I agree that it's really difficult to educate someone who has really been, let's say, have learned something from 50 years or 40 years, to change that and to ingest something which is new. It's very difficult. But I think what we're doing is we are not changing something in terms of, we're not educating something which is really, really different from what they're doing. So what we're saying is that, we are giving you an opportunity, which is, let's say, for example, in cities, if you want to order fruits and vegetables, you can order online and you can get it. If you're living on third floor, you can get it on third floor. You don't even go to ground floor, right? But if you look at the same scenario for the farmers, they don't have the option to sell the produce at their farms. They really have to go to mandi here and there. They have to arrange transportation and all. So it's a struggle for them. So if we as a company tell them that we are buying your produce from your farm itself, this is our truck which will be coming on a daily basis or whatever frequency we define, and we'll be getting payment here only, and we'll be like doing the quality check and all those here only, and we're creating rural employment because they're hiring people from there itself. So I think it's not that difficult to make them understand that it's good with them only, because they are struggling to sell their produce, and if they see the truck is coming on daily basis, why would they, not sell the produce, right? So I think this is one thing which we really want to communicate to farmers, and I don't think we are facing difficulties in communicating in that sense. In fact, if the truck doesn't go for a day, they start calling us because they have to go to mandi, they have to arrange transportation, they have to talk to the traders, they have to follow for the payments and all. So they're more than happy that they're selling to us. So I don't think we have a communication gap here with farmers at least.
Okay. And any crop planning mechanism you advise for the farmers and what to grow and when to grow?
No. We are completely focused only on, post-harvest production selling. We only focus in buying the produce from the farmers to help them to get the better prices. Nothing else as of now. But we can build a complete value supply chain once we have these mobile pickup stations in let's say 5,000 of villages and working with millions of farmers, and we really have an ecosystem where we can add more revenue streams, and we can add more things for farmers. For example, we can probably add input selling because they have to go to somewhere to buy inputs. So when the truck is going, the truck can go. The truck can take inputs and sell. These farmers can take inputs from us for fertilizers or any other thing. But that's a secondary. These are the byproducts of our revenue, byproducts of our core model. But the core model is to build a farm-to-business mobility supply chain of fruits and vegetables directly from the farmers, and especially through these mobile pickup stations built with the technology. Yeah.
Okay. And do you divert any agri-produce to any food processing industries or only consumers?
So no, none of them. So we don't sell to consumers. We sell to businesses actually. Like we sell to Udaan, we sell to brokers, we sell to let's say these Zomato Hyperpure. Then we sell to cafes, restaurants, and let's say Subway outlets. We sell to some Subway outlets. So these kind of our customers we have. We have B2B customers. Like we sell to Nividen restaurants. So we don't sell to end consumer, and also we don't sell to factories so far. But in future we can. We are planning to sell to factories for food manufacturing. For example, you can say these pickle and all. Yes. But no, we're not doing it as of now. But we plan to do it.
Okay. Any ideas, any views on the general sentiments against the middlemen and is the reason exploitation by middlemen which results in reducing marketing efficiency?
I would say, it's not really about just middlemen. It's more about the inefficiency in the system. So, if you talk about the transportation, if you talk about the packaging, if you talk about supply-demand mapping, if you talk about, planning of both growing and all those things. So I think it's completely unorganized. It's lack of technology. So if we or any company can implement the technology to optimize these things, it can improve a lot. And as far as if you talk about middlemen, whatever work they're doing, someone has to do it, either technology or either other people, right? But the point, the point is that the exploitation which is there is definitely there, and even if there is no technology and even companies come, then the exploitation will be there also, I feel. So I think the most important thing here is that how we can implement technology which is transparent, which is more optimized, which is scalable across the country. I think that is what we're looking for, and that is what we're building.
Okay. One of the participants, Ms. Aprajita, has a question for you, ma'am. Ms. Aprajita, please go ahead. I think we are not getting your voice. Okay. So, any initiatives to increase the shelf life of the produce?
I think there are already some of this. I don't know about Indian startups, but I think there are already startups who are which are working to increase shelf life of the products. I have seen already. We have been pitched by those companies that we can use the material. It's the packing material which can help. But I think it can work in B2C because we deal in bulk, right? We deal in tons of vegetables on a daily basis. We're dealing 70 tons of vegetables in a day, right? 70,000 kg. So it's not very useful for us, but a company which is dealing in B2C, like in the company, probably that is more useful for them. But yeah, there are initiatives, but we are not working on that. So whatever you're doing, it's very important that you focus upon something, because a lot agriculture is something which is which has a lot of opportunities, which has a lot of verticals. But it's important to be focused, to remain focused, so that whatever you're doing, you can do that. So we are very much focused upon, building farm to business and mobility supply chain. And then whatever would become, would be just vital bit of this. That's it.
Okay. And the question from Aprajita was like, they have zero energy cool chambers. Can we use them at a village level?
Sorry, what do you have?
They have a zero energy cool chambers, and can they use it at village level?
Yeah, of course, but I really don't know what are the use of those chambers.
Maybe I think he's talking about the coolants, I guess. And regarding the long-term plan for produce local for local, on that, would you throw some light?
Local for local.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a long-term plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question is not apt, I guess, maybe. Like we got, yeah. Any solutions to better the market prices for harvested potatoes? Currently, the price is like 4 rupees, 5 rupees over there in West Bengal.
Sorry, harvest plan? Did you say harvest plan?
No, they are asking any solutions which could help the market prices better, like for harvested potato. The current price is 4 to 5 rupees over there.
Yeah, I think it's this market which is, the price fluctuates depending on the supply in the market. So right now, because the potato is getting harvested, right, so it's coming from everywhere. So the supply is more, the demand remains same, right? So that's why the price is low. But I think, it's the increasing price of potato. I don't think there is anything solution that we can. It's not something which is in one hand that we can increase whenever we want to increase, or we can decrease whenever we want to decrease. But it's majorly supply demand market. So I don't think I can answer it more specifically, but that's the only thing I know about it.
Okay. And at which point a farmer will, overprocess his product, and what are the waiting points for him to make his product reach the customer?
For us, or in general?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking, are you asking in general or for us?
It's basically a question from Anita Rajlakshmi. So she was asking, like, which point a farmer will overprocess his product?
Overprocess.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't know what does overprocess means.
Maybe I'll try to unmute all the people. Maybe they can have a word with you. Audience, I'm anyone have a specific question they can ask? We have an issue. If someone raises their hand also, at least I can go ahead and unmute them. Yeah. Anita Rajalakshmi, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hi, ma'am. Very good afternoon. I am Anita Rajalakshmi from Coimbatore. Ma'am, I have worked as a strategic sourcing team in the global supply chain. Relating to that, and I'm asking agri-based questions. I asked over processing means, for example, if a potato is getting produced by a farmer, and where all the things that he will give lot of adding lot of fertilizers, or keeping it for more than long period, the harvest time or waiting period. So where are all the points in a agri product there will be no unnecessary over processing a farmer will do? That's what my question is, ma'am. As a whole, the product will reach our. So,
Ma'am, can
ma'am,
you repeat
along
your
with that,
question?
ma'am, which point a farmer will over process his product? Maybe it will be like just right, the product will be, but he will try to over process it, say maybe waiting for a much more harvest time, or getting it more, adding more fertilizers for getting the production, more production, like these kind of additional non-value added additions to the production. That's what I mean to ask. So what are all the non-value added, additional, adding more fertilizers or adding more like non-value added activities that would farmer will add on to his product?
I understood her question now, but I think I'm not someone who can answer this question because I don't have honestly I don't have proper knowledge to answer this question because we deal in selling and we don't deal in in terms of optimizing the production, in terms of increasing the yield and all, and what fertilizer they're using and what they can use, and what are the chances of overproduction, chances of, all these things, like they're using maybe more fertilizer, maybe it's more rice, maybe they're waiting for the seller, maybe they're waiting for something. So I really don't, I'm not the right person to answer. I don't have knowledge to answer this question.
How could a farmer ask another question, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the basic technology updates that a farmer has to accustom to make his product reach the customers just right? In the introduction,
Sorry, their voice is very low. I cannot hear.
Ma'am, what will be the basic technology update a farmer has to accustom to keep his product reaches his end customer just right? The introduction Yuvraj sir was mentioning, about the middlemen, they are also part of supply chain. So, it is a farmer's product is always perishable, and it always has to reach the end customer just right. So what will be the basic technology that a farmer has to accustom to make his product reach his customers at right point?
I think one is definitely it's very important that they know the harvesting time of the product. Let's say आज harvest करना है, कल harvest करना है, or exact what is the harvest time. So if you talk about tomatoes, let's say if you plug them slightly, less ripened, like slightly green, then it can run for 3-4 days. So that's how, and they know all these techniques, and so I think it depends on the product they are growing, and let's say if you talk about potatoes, then the perishability is not that much, right? They can hold it, they can sell it, or they can do whatever they want to do. But I think if you talk about more greens like parlas and all, they cannot hold it, right? And they have to harvest it at the right time. So the techniques they can use, probably I think maybe they should have the buyers already, so that they don't have to take the risk that if they are not able to sell the produce, or they are not able to get good pricing and all. So I think first they need to have the buyers. So for example, in our case, what we do is we ask them to fill in the mobile app, like what they want to sell, how they want to sell and all, and we send the draft. So and they can place the request even a month before. For example, you are growing, let's say, tomatoes right now, and it will be harvested after 2-3 months. You can tell us right now also, like you can place a request in our app also. So I think pre-planning is very important, which is not done in our country so far, and people are moving towards that now. That like they're finding the buyers first, and then then they're harvesting rather than just harvesting and then now taking care of where we want to sell, why how much we want to sell, where we want to sell, how we take it to the market and all.
Okay, ma'am.
So I think pre-planning is important, the logistics and the buyer.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Shubham, Mr. Shubham, you can go ahead with your question.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question for you. I want to ask the procurement you are doing. What are the challenges in this procurement model, and the model efficient means can we go on this on a long run?
So the challenges which we face in the procurement right now are, let's say, one, I told you, the quality, focusing the quality, like matching up the quality. What happens sometimes they send everything in mixed bags, they mix it up. So that's one thing I think which is challenging for us right now. I think the challenge, the second challenge is definitely the logistics. कभी truck late हो गया, कभी कहाँ पे फंस गया, कभी कुछ हो गया, and those kind of things. These are the challenges, and that's definitely the price matching is also one of the challenges which we are working upon now. So we are working on a price selection engine which will probably help us to at least predict the price and then automate these things. But I think quality mapping and then logistics is, I think, quite big challenges which will take some time by the time we resolve it.
Ma'am, is it possible you face these types of things like demand and supply thing means you have to do all these types of your sorting, grading things to predict a demand, and then all of the sudden you find out that there is no demand for the next day or the day after that. So there is a loss of the produce.
See, for the farmers, it's not like we buy wherever we are having these mobile ticket stations, right? We are buying and we're working on the demand. Like we are having demand from the businesses and we sell to mandis, also small mandis in Delhi NCR. So it is our habit where we want to sell, right? But if you are buying, then we are buying from the farmers.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
So in longer run, definitely this is the goal that to map the supply and demand.
Yeah, ma'am, because this and the demand is such unpredictable thing, and there are time involved 24 hours to 32
I
hours
think demand is
something
not
from
unpredictable. Demand is not unpredictable. The supply is unpredictable. Demand is increasing day by day, right? Everybody eats fruits and vegetables, and the population is increasing overall. So in a way, if you think about accumulated demand, it's increasing, right, every year. But we are not sure about the supply because I told you initially also in my call that we don't know how much these farmers are growing. Like nobody knows kitna potato grow hua hai abhi. Like how we calculate it, we analyze how much seeds these the unorganized sellers or organized sellers have sold. Then based on the seeds you can see like how much they have grown. Maybe then also the productivity comes into it. So the supply is not predictable, but the demand is already. I mean, you can predict it, right? You know it, like how much consumption is there already, and then how much percentage will increase depending on the population growth and all.
Okay, okay. That means you are saying in vegetable and fruits, demand is already there, the supply is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Mr. Abhishek Sharma, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a
Also, I'll be
question.
taking
Firstly, great work.
the last question I'll be taking.
Okay. So basically, I just wanted to know, like in India, where exactly or like which portions maximum post-harvest solutions are needed? What is the maximum damage done both for perishables and non-perishables? And second part is like, are you using any instead of post-harvest as well as production advisories for farmers that you're providing, or any mechanism that you're following so that they can safeguard their crops post-harvest?
So we are working in, let's say our demand is in Delhi NCR. We are working in these three states I told you earlier. and we're working in different locations. Like if I would name, maybe I don't know if you'll be knowing these names or not, so it doesn't make any sense. And we're working on different commodities. We're working on 15 commodities which are coming directly from the farmers, like guavas, and then carrots, tomatoes, onions, potatoes, brinjal, cabbage, cauliflower, and these radish and few other greens. So for every commodity, there are different quality challenges, and there are different solutions. So what solutions we are providing and how they're using it. So basically, we are building mobile ticket stations. The mobile ticket station is nothing but a place where the trucks going and stopping. It's just like a bus station where people are coming and onboarding with the bus, right? So it's like the partners are using the mobile app already. They know that there is a mobile ticket station of Agri here, so they can select the nearest MPS, mobile ticket station is MPS, and then they can they can basically fill in the mobile app what they want to sell, how much they want to sell, when they want to sell, what quality, and all those things, and they see the predicted rate also. And when they get the notification, like when the truck will be coming, what exact time the truck is coming, and all those things, so they're using it, right? So it's using, like, we have 55 mobile ticket stations. It's used in these at these mobile ticket stations.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I need to go.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Do you can you just go ahead with one more question, ma'am? It's like regarding one particular organic produce. Like, do you mention that the produce quality?
I wouldn't take this question because we are not an organic. We're basically an overall commodity, so I don't think I can answer this question. Yeah, I mean, I would not be the right person to answer the question.
Okay.
I have to move. Sorry, I have to move. I have one of the investment call at 12.
All right. No issues, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, let me check back. Just give me a couple of seconds, I mean, a couple of minutes. Request Dr. Saga Deshmukh take a couple of questions or sort of an insights regarding the supply chain management. So we are having audio issues here on your side.
Am I
Yes, sir,
audible?
you're audible right now.
Yeah, so if there are questions from the participants regarding value chain or supply chain, we can take up a few more.
Shortly, we will be having the second speaker also, sir. That's an update from us.
Any would like to add insights on value addition happening at the intermediary level or the multiple stakeholder engagements?
Aprajita Kshatriya has a point to say, sir. Ma'am, you can go ahead. Okay. You see, Mr. Jagdish Sunkad is back on the session. Initially, Mr. Jagdish Sunkad is the director of Kanakadara Agricultural Innovations Private Limited. With 2 decades in the agribusiness and the agri-tech field, he's been encompassing innovation management, contract farming, technology transfer, research and training, facilitating joint ventures and collaborations. Mr. Jagdish has strived to touch the quality of life of the farmers and other stakeholders by nurturing innovations into tools for everyday use in the field of agriculture. Mr. Jagdish Sunkad, I request you to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. How can I share the presentation, please?
In the middle, I'll make you the presenter, sir.
Okay. Okay.
In the middle, you have a share button, sir. Click on that and you can
Yeah.
go to the respective screen, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes. Is the presentation visible?
About to, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible. You can go for a full screen,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you this weekend and share a few thoughts and learnings across my journey with various startups. Okay. Today, I wish to focus on the need for understanding demand, okay, and only in the context of startups, because it's a very complex subject, very deep subject. I don't want to start diluting out into a subject that probably is a whole specialization in a management course. I just want to focus out on what is relevant to us as startups, okay. And one core part that I'll touch on really is why we should focus on getting demand forecasting. Now, for most startups, okay, we are trying to see, as we build the startup, we are focused on how do I make this product cheapest, because if it's cheap, everybody will buy, and how can I get it fastest to the market, okay, and that supply chain. If I can make a product and if I can get it to my customer fastest, I know supply chain, I have understood it. Only I hope it was so simple. If you were not to understand supply chain at a certain depth, which is literally the heart, vein, and lungs. Now, the combination of these, please just visualize. The combination of heart, the veins, and the lungs is what gets the blood all around in your body, which keeps life happening. Any one thing stops even briefly, you're going to collapse. Now, supply chain is as important to as is your business. Now, most startups are focused on how do I get my logo right? How do I get investors right? How do I recruit marketing people? Few people think it necessary to look at how do I get my product to the people. Okay. Why would it be so important? Okay. If you did not know your demand correctly, you would have extra inventory with you, which is cost. You would have produced, say, 10 units of a product when demand for it is only 2. Or the demand is 20, you produced only 2, and hence competition came and took you over. If you did not get your demand projection earlier, you will be sitting with extra or insufficient inventory. Okay. Similarly, if you have customers who did not get fulfilled, you have a problem because you didn't serve them. And if you served a poor product to a customer, you still have a problem. Okay. All these leads in bad customer experience and losses to you. So it's very important that you get this. Now, why do we ignore this such an important thing called supply chain for startups? It is because in our thinking, we mix these two words and use them together. Supply chain, efficiency. I don't know how many of you people have been to Badrinath or Kedarnath or some of these religious functions. They keep screaming, Jor se bolo, shor se bolo, Jai Mata Di. Literally like that. The moment you say supply chain, all our MBA graduates will stand up and say efficiency. And be a startup, just think that we are not yet ready to discuss efficiency because we are startup. We will discuss efficiency once I have a business happening. Tab tak ke liye I am not going to look at efficiency, and hence I will not look at supply chain. I look at logo, I look at tagline, I look at IP protection, I look at investor, I look at team building. I will not consider for my business supply chain. And hence, it's not a fashionable word, or it's not a, this, what should I say? It's not fashionable to say so. Now, I was telling you that supply chain is a much deeper subject, so I just want you to touch up and you to work on it and look at certain things later. Of course, first will be the logistics and distribution strategies, a part of your supply chain issues. Okay, I mentioned demand planning, and I'll touch about that. There is also, please remember that supply chain means production planning. If you ever running a Maruti, if you visit a Maruti factory or a Toyota factory, okay, the supply chain people are the people who do production planning and demand planning. It is not the sales and marketing guys. Sales and marketing guys do fulfillment. If you ever go to Arvind Mills, or if you go to any branded garment company, it is not the marketing guys who do that. They only do the fulfillment of sales and marketing. It is a supply chain that will do production planning and demand planning. Okay, there is most important is lead time management. Okay, inventory planning. Okay, because you have to commit to your down the supply chain people that this will be picked up at this time, and hence you need to manage a lot of uncertainty. There's a whole supplier relationship management. There's strategic sourcing, or what kind of services or products you are going to confirm and guarantee. So there are too many issues here that you need to get right, and hence it's a very deep subject. Okay, so the weakest part where most startups fail is really in understanding what is the demand for my product or idea. Either they overestimate it or underestimate it, and hence land in trouble. Also, how can I automate this entire thing so that supply and demand meet? Then I should not be struggling for that. And if you have done these two things, if you get your demand estimation correct and your supply to match your demand, or demand to match your supply, you already have done a lot of work and you're on your way to success. Okay. So when you are able to do this, you have increased customer satisfaction, stockouts. The worst thing that can happen to any businessman is there's a customer at your door and you don't have material to give him. Okay. The other part really most businesses struggle is they have orders and they're struggling to produce. Okay, and many times we are not able to ship it out properly. And most important, we had planned something, we had agreed on something, we had done something, but price of one raw material changed, or the government taxes changed, or something changed in the market where I'm not able to get the pricing and promotion. Very often your sales team come back to you and say, sir, I need to give a 10% discount in the market, only then I'll get orders, can I? But if I give 10% discount, I'm incurring losses. So it is a supply chain professional who is able to plan all this and prepare all this, and hence please think as a startup. If you are not provided for supply chain competence in your startup, how good or how successful are you likely to be? Okay, so please prepare yourself to build great partnership with supply chain people. You may find a sales guy, you may get a finance guy, you may get a HR person, etc. But are you even preparing to think of supply chain for your person, for your startup? It is not that they don't exist. I'll come back to you a little while later and we'll discuss where they are and how they look at. But as much as you try to look at recruiting a HR person or a finance person or a marketing sales person to your company, please look at that. Do you need a supply chain person? Okay. So the key factor is demand planning. Okay. There are experts available for this. Only you need to pay them sufficiently. And this is far more important than anything else. You get this wrong, you have planned a failure in your business already. I'll come back to that later. Okay, so if you're not planned for supply chain, your entire business is at risk because something is not prepared for. So this is something that Jeff Bezos or most people say that I endlessly focus on the customer. Okay, but have you observed that what they're really doing is a supply chain? They're completely focused on distributing a product at near zero cost. They are able to give delivery to your door at near zero cost because that is what they build supply chain. You may have a great product, but if it does not arrive at the door of the customer when they need, in the manner they need, you're dead. Okay, so I would like you to this presentation, please, Kaushik and Yuvraj, please share it to them so that they visit these links.
Sure,
Okay?
sir. Sure, sir.
So that you're able to, you can post the link to them. Okay, very important article to read about it. And don't bother about supply chain efficiency; it comes later. Okay, but your supply chain that you have planned must be agile, adapt, and align. It's a wonderful article written by many years ago. Okay, so it's nothing new about it, but you need to get this, that when I say agile, like we all know that markets change and customers change. Now, if I'm not able to move swiftly, because internally, if I'm structured so that I can't change my production, I'm dead. If I'm not able to adapt to the changes that happen, I'm dead. If I cannot align my interests to the interests of my vendors, people who give me service, I'm dead. A good supply chain is agile, will adapt, and will be in alignment to people above me and below me in the chain. If you can't get these three right, you're not here in the business. What do you need to do so that you're agile, adapt, and align? Please take some time and look through this article. At the moment, I will not. If there are any questions, we'll take it up a little later. Let me run through mine. Please permit me to have my coffee, and I just request each of you to take your little break. It is one of those days when I've had continuous. So also please take time to Google later and study of what we call as a bullwhip effect. You know, I know a number of startups both in the food industry as well as in the fresh fruits and vegetables supply chain activity, where they say that the price of tomatoes for farmer is 10 rupees, but customer is paying 30 rupees. So there is 20 rupees margin in that. I will take it. There's a lot of business opportunity here. All I'll do is write an app, and because I have an app and I'll give, instead of 10 rupees, I'll give 12 rupees or 15 rupees to the farmer. He'll come to me. And instead of giving 30 rupees to customer, I'll give it at 25 rupees. I'll buy at 15 and sell at 25. 10 rupees will be mine. Okay. So they look at this. But all these startups and many of these people really miss out on what we call as a bullwhip effect in the market. Any supply chain has to deal with this. Now, what this basically says, and let me just explain to you what happened. This was first documented very well for the company called P&G, Procter and Gamble. One of the world's largest companies, which are the experts of supply chain. Okay, they operate in almost all countries in the world and make thousands of consumer products. And baby diapers was one of them. And in their business, this I'm talking of in say 1960s or 70s. So the whole issue they were addressing, which at that time, please mind you, they had supercomputers and mainframe computers to analyze data. So it's not like they did not know data analysis or anything. They were really large and they had all the resources. Okay. Suddenly there was a huge demand for baby diapers, and suddenly there was no demand for baby diapers. So management was wondering, what is this? Is suddenly the baby is having constipation and suddenly they're having diarrhea? Or is it that suddenly more babies are born or suddenly less babies are born? Why does our product, our business goes through such huge ups and downs, okay, when actually the demand should have been steady? Okay, in researching is when they came up with this. Normal understanding, you will not understand why this phenomenon occurs. It is not just for baby diapers and a company like P&G. This happens for Volvo and all other businesses. Okay, a small change in demand on the customer side, what you're seeing on the left side of the screen, results in a huge wave for the manufacturer. That's simply because in your whole business, as you grow, you will have a retailer and you will have some other wholesaler, distributor, or somebody else between you, and you will have raw material vendors to you. And the signal about demand makes people behave differently. And these waves, business cycles get generated, and which affects you. Okay. Now, why would this change and why does this affect? So basically, different people look at demand. It is a compounding effect. Let's say I'm a retailer and I see that suddenly I'm selling a lot of Coca-Cola because it's Saturday. Okay. Now my supplier has already planned. Okay, long weekend is coming, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So everybody is going to buy. So he's already planned on my plan. Normally I'm used to give him a demand of say 10 crates for the weekend. He'll come up with a scheme to sell me 12 crates or 15 crates. And his predecessor will have come out with a plan to say, in this season, I will give a bigger target. What happens? Because his boss says, last year you sold 1 truckload. This time I want you to sell 1.1 truckloads or 1.5 truckloads. So everybody is trying to read a demand signal, both when it is going up and when it is going down. And this just amplifies and amplifies, and later you'll see that the everybody is getting it wrong. Similarly, in our supply chain, we try to play this game of ration. I'm getting a new customer, so I will divert some supply to him. The old customer is haggling too much with me, so I'll give him this much. Okay, this causes undue fluctuations in this. Similarly, order batching. Instead of making 3 shipments, I will just make 1 shipment. Instead of sending you 3 times a week, I will just send you once a week, because that way my transport cost will reduce. When you do order batching, you are going to increase or decrease supply. And please remember this works backwards also. The backward supply is really money. You're giving a product or service, and what is coming back to you is money. Okay, so your customer comes and tells you that, look, instead of making you weekly payments, I'll make you 1 monthly payment. Okay, so whenever batching happens, you have a problem. You also have a major problem when you make price variations. Okay, what Procter & Gamble realized it was doing was they would run an offer, buy 1, get 1 free. Or they will say buy packets of 3 and you will get 5 pieces extra or something else. And that when somebody buys, when customer buys it, means next week when they needed the material, they're not going to come to you. When you make discounts and offers, what your salespeople say is they meet their monthly targets, but they come back to you next month saying stories. You caused over dumping in the market. And this is a bullwhip effect. And this is something that salespeople and marketing people will not tell you how they are responsible for running down your business. Now, for those of you who are interested in this and who have questions about this, I invite you to play this game. The website is mentioned, beergameapp.com. Okay, you need to play as a team of 4 people. If you have less than 4 people, the computer will simulate 1 person for you. But please don't play it alone, you'll never understand it. Okay. Just give me a minute, please. Now, in this game, you need to understand as you play this game, this is a free game to play initially. But if you try to play it 3 times or more, they will ask you to pay. Okay. So intelligently, please prepare and plan yourself when you play this game. One of you is a retailer, one is a wholesaler, one is a distributor, one is a factory. You're supposed to be shipping out beer. Now, obviously, if customers, as a retailer, let's just look at it. If a customer comes to you and asks for beer, you don't have it, you lost $1. Okay. On the other hand, you stocked beer with you, assuming people will come to you, and they didn't take it from you. No customer came to buy that beer with you. Your money is obviously stuck in business. So it's going to cost you $0.5 because your money is stuck. It is not liquid. It's not in your pocket. It is stuck in the business. So this happens for the wholesaler and distributor and the factory. So all of you, the rules are same. If you don't fulfill an order, it's going to cost you X, $1. And if you have stocks which you are not able to sell out, it still costs you 0.5x. And between one layer to another layer, there is a 2-day gap or 2 weeks. There's a time gap because it's not like I lift my phone and place an order and next hour or next day material will come. There will be a time delay before the order gets fulfilled to you. If I were to order for apples today, I'm sure it's not going to come to me straight. It will take me at least 3 days to reach. Like that, please, there is a time gap between layer to layer. And when you play this game, you will see that actually nobody wins. Let me tell you the secret. If anybody is able to get your cost of business, you're supposed to reduce your cost of business, which is fulfill every order, don't have inventory. Isn't that a dream place to be? Every customer who wanted my product, I've given it to him. And I don't have any stocks with me. That is the ideal nirvana. That is the best place for any businessman to be. And you'll find that no matter how many times, none of you are ever going to reach there. I invite you to play this game. If we had time, if it was a proper classroom session and we were face to face, I'd have gotten you to play this game. Okay, but with your family, with your friends or whoever, take some time and play this game, please. Very interesting. As a little diversion, I would just like to touch you through some of the things that are changing. All these are necessary, which be it Amazon, be it P&G, be it Hindustan Levers, whoever else are adopting these because these are the leaking points that are sinking your business. These are the technologies that will be revolutionize supply chain. When you are planning your startup, see which of these you can use and include in your thing. Okay, artificial intelligence. I was talking to you about demand planning. Now there are factors and data points which we know, which will help you get your demand right, and it's important. Similarly, robotic process automation. Imagine how many shipments that Amazon or Blue Dart or Flipkart would be handling. They have robots doing all that. You have to look at that because you can't get anything wrong. Similarly, blockchain. Many of you are exploring the science and technology. It's a wonderful, brilliant technology that will change all of our life as we know it. But as relevant to supply chain, please look at it. There's a number of things happening there. We call this as wearables. I mean, quite like Fitbit. Okay, only that this wearable belongs to your truck or your shipment. Did it go at the right temperature it was supposed to go? Were the conditions right? Where is your inventory held? Because half the time your truck driver is sleeping under the tree on the highway because he is paid by the day. If you ask him something, he'll say vehicle breakdown, sir, and whatever else, and you will get into trouble. Similarly, IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, these are things, technologies that are going to affect you greatly. Now, I want to take some time off and speak of some of these case studies. I would like you to spend time and look at this. Now, many of us as startups, we are given by this whole thought that if I reduce price, I'll get more customers. Okay, and then you come back with the story saying, I don't have distributors. I don't know where the distributors are. Nobody wants to keep my product. Processed food they have made, and they come and tell me, sir, I'm giving 30% margin, which is more than what I make. I make 10% margin, but they're asking for 30% margin. Should I give it to them? Why should I give it to them? If he makes 30%, I'm making 10%, why I should do business? Okay, and these are 4 companies that really built in India. Okay, a Parle-G product, when it is distributed across the country, okay, you don't get even a 3% margin. And startup struggle to get partners with 30% margin. Just think about it. How come a whole product, a whole brand exists with just 3% margin, and people wait for 1 year to get the distributorship? Obviously, they built their business some particular way in which actually supply chain partners are waiting to take your product to the customer. They did something about that. Look at Asian Paints. Okay, another brilliant company that really kept all the multinationals out of India for a long time and actually does more business than multinationals around the world. They have the lowest, both. First, I would like to say Parle-G. What is it? Maida with sugar in it. It really has no value in it. But it is the breakfast of the country. Tip nahi kiya to chai kya piya. That is the kind of market they have built. In Asian Paints, Berger, ICL, huge multinationals around the world. But why is Asian Paints the first recall? They made it affordable. They made it available at every place that the customer wanted. They focused on supply chain. Hence, they are who cannot be disturbed. Okay. You must read and learn a little about Parachute Coconut Oil, Marico Industries. Okay. Initially, coconut oil was really stuck only to Kerala and South India because coconut is available here. It was not for the rest of the country. Okay. Out of a commodity product in which, frankly, there is no difference between one coconut oil and next coconut oil. Okay. They built a national brand worth a couple of thousand crores. And how did they do that? Both innovation as well as supply chain. Okay. A little story about them. Coconut oil used to be sold only in a 20 kg cans or tins, tin dabbas, big ones. Obviously, nobody wanted to buy 20 kg dabbas. Okay, so shopkeepers used to buy a 20 kg dabba and dispense out 100 ml, 200 ml, 300 ml. Same, please remember the Bullwhip effect. If I bought 20 kgs, for next 1 month, I won't buy a dabba from you. Okay, so this person who founded Marico Industries was doing some study across in one town where he found that one person was buying from Marico Industries 20 kg dabba, but remaking the dabba into smaller 100 gram dabbas and selling 100 gram dabbas. Okay, everybody was buying 100 gram dabbas and they were buying regularly. So he was a loyal customer to Marico and he was buying in small quantities. Okay, so this person sits down and thinks, why can't I do that? Instead of selling 20 kg dabbas, I will also sell only 100 gram dabbas. Okay, but obviously there was a cost to repackaging, and the more 100 gram packs or 200 gram packs you do, the more transport and packaging costs. Okay, tin dabba. That time oil used to come in tin dabbas. Okay, so he said, how can I reduce the cost of this? Theek hai, I want to make smaller packaging. What should I do? Okay, to make it cheap. Obviously, that was the time at which plastics was coming into India. So he looked at plastic dabbas. He did his homework, and the whole dealer community rejected it. The whole dealer community rejected plastic dabbas. Why? Because rats were coming and eating up that. Rats liked coconut oil, and they would bite into the plastic dabba, which used to cause leakage and damage and wastage. So nobody wanted to buy plastic dabbas. Tin dabbas were expensive. Okay, so he did some experiments and he thought, obviously, this is a problem he wanted to solve because this is family business. He can either do it or throw it away and go. And somebody down the line was making more money than him by simply converting a 20 kg dabba into a 200 gram dabba. How can I do this business better than him at a national level is all that he focuses thinking on. Okay, and the only way to make it cheaper and better was really plastic dabbas, and plastic dabbas were being eaten by rats. Now literally he meditated on this question and he discovered that when he makes a round bottle, rats are not able to bite on a round bottle. They can bite a square dabba because there is a corner where it's attached and he'll bite. So this bottle shape that you're seeing on the screen, rats did not bite into it. Instead of doing the copycat or traditional square dabba, he made a round bottle. That is all the innovation he created. And the retailers didn't want to stock that, but he gave it to them and let them experiment and experience that there was no rat eating and hence no damage to such bottles in the shelf. Once his customers, the distributors, experienced it, they also didn't want to buy a 20 kg dabba and they were willing to buy a 200 gram or a 500 gram bottle. And the rest is history. This is documented about Parachute. Please take some time off and study. Similarly, look at the amount of effort that has gone into Fevicol brand, Pidilite Industries. Okay, today, quite like Xerox, nobody says, I want adhesive. They say, I want Fevicol. Doesn't matter which brand they take. Each of these 4 brands, Indian grown companies, if you look at, became a success and thousands of crore brand because at the core of it, they really thought supply chain and didn't think of investor, HR, pricing strategy, etc. They were very clear. Customer has a need. I have an idea. And what will I do to take my idea to them? Okay. Uh,
All right, Jagdish. Sorry for the interruption. I think there's a technical issue on Jagdish's side. Sir, your audio is not coming. Yeah, Mr. Jagdish Sunkat will be back in a minute. Meanwhile, you can check back links related to the supply chain as well as the Beer Game app. Meanwhile, the audience can also post their questions in the chat box, and who's that Jagdish Sunkat will be taking the questions also. Thank you.
yeah, I'm really sorry for the technical glitch. I don't know what happened. My laptop seems to be since morning not cooperating. So there were three links, 3 or 4 links that I shared. Okay, please take some time off to watch those videos where at length you will understand how these companies single-handedly focused on supply chain management. Okay, and why it's crucial part of your recipe for success. Okay. Before I rant off and take anything more, I would like to take some questions, please. Okay. Not too many slides. I would like to take some questions from the participants.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the intuitive session, letting us know the need for the visibility, especially, and collaboration capability, which are really key for the businesses. And the session is open for Q&A. People can just raise their hands on their. They can also keep it in the chat box. We have one from Nalini Murthy, sir.
Yeah, please.
I'll unmute her, sir. Yeah. Ms. Nalini Murthy, you can go ahead with your question. Okay. She's saying, do we have any system to achieve?
Have any system for it?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
No, not just agriculture. For no business, this is where the whole aspect of what should I say, artificial intelligence and machine learning comes in. Okay, predicting need is not an easy task. It's $1 million question if you're able to answer for any sector, and agriculture for the most seriousness of it. If you can assess the need for tomatoes tomorrow morning, you will become God. You'll receive multi-billion dollars. Okay, extremely difficult. Within a certain narrow range of error, you can estimate demand, and those who are able to do it are the only people who will survive. Okay, so it's a crucial skill you need to acquire. So particularly in agriculture, it's extremely difficult to predict demand and supply. Nalini, have I answered your question, please?
Sir, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else, please?
Yeah, Pushpalata is here, sir. She's asking the contact details. Yeah, sure, that will be shared shortly. Yeah. I'll also try another method, sir, like unmuting everyone. Maybe we'll try that. We see a lot of voices, but it's better if we get a questions on the chat box, or people can raise their hands. That would be better, I guess.
What's the promotion cost of supply chain for agriculture or FMCG business? That's a good question. See, particularly in agriculture, where I have some experience, let me tell, it really varies across various things. Categories in the sense that when I look at whole of agri input industry, okay, cost of finance is a hidden cost nobody kind of accounts for. People look at logistic costs. What does it take cost for me to kind of deliver a product to a certain village is all that they're thinking. Okay, and what they forget really is business is a transaction. Where I gave you a product, I should get my money. Okay, if the money that I need to get today comes to me after 6 months, there's a cost of finance which is not factored for. And all of you know agri input industry runs on credit. Now, if I want to supply seeds, okay, much before the season, I have to pay a token advance and hence lock up my requirements, and hence lot of money is invested in that supply chain for that credit period as well as the advance booking. If I were the same to do with chemicals, everybody knows of the uncertainty in the demand. I don't know if there will be a pest outbreak, yes or no. And also they know that the margins on that are available are very high, 30%, 40% in some of the products which I would call as good to have, not need to have. Okay, I would categorize all inputs into two categories: good to have and need to have. A seed is a need to have. Urea, DAP is a need to have. Even pesticides, some cases, is a need to have. You cannot do agriculture without pesticides today. But something like a humic acid or a stimulant is good to have. Even without that, I can do my agriculture. Now, cost of these kind of products are extremely high, of the order of even 100%. Okay, so there isn't a one size fit all to answer to this to say what is the cost of supply chain, but please look at it that it is 30%. As a very generic thumb rule, I will say, okay, because you're startups, not to be used outside the context of this workshop, please. India is a ek ka teen market. आपका cost एक रहेगा, तो customer का cost should be 3. It should be 3x. Because supply chain cost is x. मुझे माल बनाने के लिए 10 रुपए लगता है. It costs me 10 rupees to produce it. I must take it to customer at 30 rupees because the supply chain cost is another 10 rupees. Okay. And the profit required is 10 rupees because please remember, most startups don't factor for scale. Jab there is interest rate, depreciation, and administration costs. 1/3 of it is your administration cost. Factory चलाने के लिए पैसा लगता है. It costs you money to be in business. That is 1/3 of your cost. Supply chain is 1/3. Cost of doing is 1/3. Your product cost is 1/3. If you don't do a 1, 2, 3 business, you're going to be dead before you know in India. If you can do better, good for you. I hope that has answered the question.
Yes, absolutely right.
Thank you. So the next question reads, what as MBA business, agribusiness, it's finest to start up company as entrepreneur or take up a job? Good question. Look, considering that you're MBA and agribusiness student, etc., I say, go and work in an agri startup. Why do I say that? Look, agri startup is a very different world. Okay, this is a marathon race. Do not look at a Flipkart, White Hat Junior or somebody else and look at it like ये 100-meter dash है, 3 साल में मैं exit कर जाऊंगा with my equity and मैं करोड़पति बन जाऊंगा. Agriculture में मैंने आज तक कोई startup नहीं देखा है. There are so many harsh, bitter activities that are involved in making this so-called thousands of crores of rupees that startup is supposed to have. थोड़ा तो experience garner कर लो भाई. Agriculture किताब से नहीं सीखोगे. You will not learn it from books. चप्पल घिसना पड़ेगा तभी आएगा. You have to get your hands dirty, feet dirty. So please work there and come back. Only if you are in the long term for this. If anybody wants to make money in urgency, please agriculture industry में मत आओ and agriculture startup मत करो. If you are willing to be here for the long haul, good. You will survive and yes, somebody will help you. Okay. I hope I've answered that question. If there is any doubt, please switch on your mic and correct me. Please resend the link on supply chain management. Okay, the organizers will share with you both the presentation and that. You will have copies in that. Okay, please take a look at those videos. They explain very nicely. I don't want to repeat it. And the way I'd like to handle it is really, you also make some effort to learn. Okay. As a startup and developing an innovative product in the starting phase, it becomes difficult to keep the supply smoothly. As we cannot go on with number of suppliers for single product, then how we deal with that situation. That is the reason why in your planning, you have to get clear with your partnership with vendors. Okay, if you are in Toyota, you will not look for a low-cost vendor. If you are in the electronics industry, if you are say Samsung, and you needed a certain component, be it a switch or in your mobile or anything, you will not go for a low-cost solution at all. You will go for a reliable supplier who can keep up commitment so that you will sleep peacefully and you will focus on your business. So remember, I had one slide at the beginning saying, as a startup, most people think what is the fastest and cheapest way to do business is what a startup is thinking. And that's the most stupid and the most wrong hat to wear. Customers are not waiting to buy cheap products. Tata realized it while trying to make Tata Nano. Nobody wanted a cheap car. Okay, so do not focus on the words fast and cheap when you're planning your startup. Doesn't matter if it's expensive. Only thing that matters is what is the value I deliver to a customer? What is he willing to pay me for that? Just meditate on this, focus on this, you'll build your startup. Okay, I hope if I have not answered sufficiently, let me know because there is a lot of things popping up and I'm trying to do justice to most points. Sir, our area is facing unsold past harvest crop like paddy, rice, not sold in proper prices. What can we do? That is where the processing industry is very necessary. Okay, and that is where the whole focus of Agri Infrastructure Fund and the so-called Agri CES is. Overproduction is naturally in agriculture because it's dependent on weather. We are going to overproduce. Okay, but if you don't build a processing industry in between the consumer and the farmer, these fluctuations cannot be absorbed. What the agriculture sector severely suffers from today is really a food processing industry. If we had a food processing industry, what they do is really add value and preserve the produce. The more the world is going towards, I have been to almost all corners of India in rural space also. I'm impressed by the number of, what would I say, totally unknown brands of noodles available. It's not just Maggi. I'd gone to some house, कुछ बना देंगे सर आपके लिए खाने के लिए. एक गांव गया था. Okay. I was wondering क्या अभी खाने, I was not willing to have lunch because I needed to move off, etc. So 2 minute noodles बनाएंगे. I started scratching my head and I was very curious. क्या फिर ये इतना दूर आके मैगी खाना है? And they brought a totally unbranded thing. And I said, wow. Okay, so this revolution is happening and it must be accelerated. I wish to see more startups as a part of this because convenience and processed food is going to be daily part of our life, whether we like it or not. Okay. Great insight on AI/ML, consumption pattern play big role in demand. Can you please share some examples and working models? Please look at the Asian Paints video that I have shared with you. Okay, how did they end up being? That shows many years ago, before today's computers and algorithms and AI/ML were there, Asian Paints invested in this subject, and that's how they're a success brand today. There are lots of case studies about that, but it's a tough thing because today, having realized that कोई भी अपना data आपको नहीं देगा भाई. I receive a lot of IIT, IIM kids who come out and say कि sir connect me to some FMCG company, data देने के लिए बोल दीजिए, हम analysis कर देंगे. कोई माई बाप आपको डेटा नहीं देगा, आपको घिसना पड़ेगा तभी मिलेगा. Okay, so don't think that this will be an easy journey. You have to work to collect data. You have to be as innovative as understanding the difference between a square box and a round box on a wholesaler shelf. Rising cost of fuel has given big headache for the startups, especially in estimating logistics costs and provide attractive prices from how to deal with in these cases. That's where never plan your business cut to cut. Okay, many startups do not include a margin in their business. They have this what I call as anti-capitalist idea of business. कि बड़ा मार्जिन नहीं रखना चाहिए, बड़ा मार्जिन रखोगे तो आप बुरा आदमी बनोगे. यार घोड़ा घास से प्यार करेगा तो करेगा क्या, खाएगा क्या? You are in business to make margin. Don't be shy. Over your expected margin, please keep 2% buffer for such things like petrol and diesel prices went up and hence you can't fulfill demands. This is just one of the things which will cause price fluctuations. और भी रहेंगे. So if anybody is thinking कि मैं 10% margin में ही business बनाऊंगा, stop that nonsense. You are doing cheating to yourself, to the customer, and to your vendors. Okay, dhanda is dhanda. Get ruthless about that. Keep sufficient margin for you to be happy, but don't be greedy. Because just say agriculture input may, I have seen the whole death of this whole category called seaweeds. Okay, simply because 100% margin रहता है, 300% margin रहता है. Trichoderma, मर क्यों गया वो product which is so great? Because 300% margin है उसमें. So many spurious products, duplicate products come in, and you will never be able to build a market for that product. So what is that golden line? Frankly, I'm not here to give you formulas and easy solutions. You have to be practical in that. You cannot be greedy about it. Okay, but keep margin, please. Sir, as consumer taste and preferences are changing, what is a better way to study and predict demand? Be in the market. The only place an entrepreneur should sit is not in his office, but in the market. Nowhere else you will learn lessons of how to adapt and change. All the three words I said, agile, adapt, align, happens in the market. Because if you don't, market is a great teacher. Kuchal dega aapko. It will eat you raw. And if you're not sitting in the market, if you're sitting in your house, in your office, AC chamber, your death is not far away. Sir, is FPO startup is suitable for long term? Look, an FPO is not a startup model. So anybody thinking of starting FPOs, be very clear, very clear that it is not a startup model. Okay, more I'll come back to later because it's a whole subject. I would like to take that one-on-one, but please remember there's a government-supported initiative to help farmers. Okay, it is not a for-profit entity. I am yet to see, other than one exception of Sahyadri Farms in Nashik, I am yet to see a success story of FPO in India. अगर गवर्नमेंट का काम आपको करना है तो करो प्लीज, आई विल नॉट रेस्ट्रिक्ट यू, but it's not a startup idea. A startup idea is about making money. FPO is about helping farmers. Please remember these two are very different things. कहीं पे निगाहें कहीं पे निशाना, don't do that nonsense. If you want to make money, make a startup. You want to help farmers, make an FPO. I hope I've answered that. Okay. With food processing, branding, packaging, and marketing costs are also involved. How government or any other institutions are helping food processing marketing for farmers? Not very directly, okay, but I do know that if you have an export oriented product, okay, APIDA gives you subsidy and support for packaging development, okay, and in the current programs that I'm seeing of ODOP, etc., these are provided for in this one, not as formal thing, because frankly people get wrong and do terrible mistakes in packaging. Okay, so any subsidy program or support program has been misutilized and wrongly used. But on a case-to-case basis and whatever else, this should be discussed and support required. I do believe this is a genuine request, and I presume in days to come, people will support that. Okay. Data is a scarce resource, I understand. Can you explain how creating value with organic grocery and supply chain management? Sorry, I'm going to be brute about that question for organic products and supply chain. Okay. Customer, see, when we say customer and we're trying to do startup and business, very frankly, we've got very funny submissions to this. Okay, which is एक तरफ हम भगवान मानते हो कस्टमर को, दूसरी तरफ कस्टमर गधा है, he does not know what he wants. Sorry, I'll be brute with my words. Okay, he's that emperor with no clothes. हमने उसको उतना बड़ा चढ़ा के बोल दिया है कि कस्टमर तो भगवान हो और वो घूम रहा है नंगा. Okay, I mean, supposedly Ford had said that. I don't think he said that, which is this. Agar if I go to customers and ask, what do you want? The existing customers would have said, I want a better horse. There was no customer who went up to Steve Jobs and said, please give me a touch screen. I don't like buttons. It is a job of an entrepreneur to create something innovative that a customer wants. Okay, so I mean, you must focus on customer. Okay, but don't go beyond a certain point. Are customers really demanding organic food? Most customers are demanding cheap foods. आपका दिमाग खराब हुआ है कि you think that he should eat organic food. Don't do this injustice on your own self. If they are saying they want organic food, go to them and give them that. But if you want to go them and educate them saying ki, I'll give you organic food, you buy it, and because it's organic, give me more money for it, you are investing money for long-term returns. Okay, they are not going to be loyal to you. They are not going to be come to you because they like your face. They'll buy once, they'll buy twice, they'll go out somewhere and listen. Ask yourself a very, very hard question. If they want organic, they'll come to your door and they will buy that. Don't burn yourself knocking doors. If you want to do it. I will not stop you. But remember, then your cost of customer acquisition is going to be very high. Your cost of servicing the customer is going to be very high. Okay, it's not very easy and not very difficult either. Okay, principles are very same, but get your reality in your brain correct first. आप जाके बेच रहे हो ऑर्गेनिक का कहानी, कस्टमर को नहीं चाहिए ऑर्गेनिक का कहानी. Okay, sorry, I'm not going to make your life easy, but work on that. Okay, why do I say that? 20 years ago, if you had asked somebody to buy a bottled water, they would have said, what nonsense, I don't want to pay 20 rupees for one bottle of water. But today you ask, everybody is aware. So maybe 10 years later, 20 years later, people will ask for organic food. Abhi, I don't think there's a natural demand. And you have to build it. You want to do this marathon run and you want to be in this industry, in this jungle for that long time, good, you will succeed. But if you think कि एक साल में मुझे organic supply chain खड़ा करना है, नहीं होने वाला है. Okay, as such, organic is a word that has been abused. So please be careful. Next question, sir. What is the way to understand market? Good fundamental question. Okay, if you want to understand the market, please listen more than you talk. बाजार में जब जाते हो मुंह मत खोलना, कान और आंख दोनों खुले रखना. Keep your eyes and ears open when you're in the market. Don't open your mouth to sell your product. ग्राहक अपने आप बोलेगा आपको उसको क्या चाहिए. If you want to study markets, talk less, listen more, observe more. Many of us see things, but we don't observe. There's a difference between seeing and observing, between listening and hearing. Customer सब कुछ बोलता है, वो market इसीलिए आया क्योंकि उसको कुछ चाहिए. Customer came to the market because he wants something. Okay, there is no other secret formula or difference in this. I hope that answer helps you. Okay, somebody saying FPOs are successful? Of course, yes. So if somebody got me wrong, please, I stand corrected. I'm not going to look into the definition of the word successful. I'm just going to look at create value for everybody, because that is what a startup is supposed to be. सबकी जेब में पैसा रहना चाहिए. When you're a startup, there should be money in your pocket. There should be money in your employee's pocket. There should be money in your investor's pocket. जिसने आपको पैसा दिया, उसको भी पैसा वापस चाहिए. Okay, that is success. Now, I don't think FPO is giving back money to the government. I have not yet seen enough FPOs other than Sahyadri farms which give higher prices. Maybe some have, at least I've seen a couple in Karnataka. But if you're running a subsidy program and whatever, don't come back and tell me कि हमने 2 crore का turnover किया है, so I'm successful. That is not an economic understanding of a startup. Okay. Rest, if there is any example, exceptions to what I have said, I accept that every rule has an exception. As a startup, we are new to society, to the consumers, have no faith in ourselves. How can we build faith in a startup? Okay. That's a tricky question, and the answer is very simple, please. Vada nibhao. Whatever promise you made to customer in the market, please keep it up. That is the only way you will build your trust. There is no shortcut to this. Don't try to package it and tell stories and whatever else. Telling stories is about marketing. Building a business is about keeping up your promise. Jo bola wo karke dikhao. Your action should be in alignment with your words. There cannot be two ways about this. Can a SHG become a food processing industry? Yes, please. Okay. Please speak to the officers who are implementing the ODOP, one district, one product program, etc. SHGs are permitted and NABARD supports this. Please, and stick to SHGs, do not go to FPOs. We are still not yet ready for them. That's a bulldozer. Today we need to work with spades. So please work with SHGs. Kindly reflect on supply chain in the context of the company, one-person company and LLPs. Look, it does not matter whether you're a proprietor, OPC or LLP or whatever else. You have to sit down and lock yourself in the room and dream. My product is ready. My customer is here. How do I connect my customer to, my product to my customer at scale? You'll find your answers. Don't think of 1, 2, 10, etc. It should go by truckloads. Then the answers will come. Have the courage. When you think this, creativity needs you to cut yourself off from this distracting world. To get your signal, market में जाओ. लेकिन market में खड़ा रहोगे ना, there is so much of noise and very little signal. You must cut out the noise, focus on the signal. You will get your answers. Does not matter whether you're an OPC or an LLP or a private limited or a public limited. Okay. If I'm still not clear, please switch on and speak. Or towards the end, I'm trying to run through all the questions. Is there any standard supply chain approach to opt over particular type of company? No, there's no standard types. I hope I completed.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I do agree that organic. Yeah. Please continue. Sorry to interrupt. Please.
Not a problem, sir. Actually, we've got a lot of questions. Also, we've dropped your email, sir, so that
yes,
the audience can interact with you in future also. And yes, sir. And, I request Dr. Saravanan Raj, Director, Agriculture Extension, National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, and CEO of Managed CIX, to give the closing remarks, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sunkar. It's always, Mr. Sunkar, it's always, it is great to hear you. Straightforward.
Thank you, sir.
And I last when I'm hearing organic farming, it's really appreciated. It's most abused the word you used, abused, is it not? Abused, huh? It's very correctly you told. It's very quite interesting and complex subject, and thank you very much. Always you are with us, and we are happy to partner with you. And a lot of classes for our startups also. You are part of this, our cohorts, all the cohorts, I suppose, maybe after second cohort or third cohort onwards. Thank you very much for all. Even whenever we call with short notice, also you are with us. Thank you very much, and also you were straightforward, and many of things are it is practical based on some startups experience. It really makes difference for all our startups and those who are maybe ecosystem partners are there. Maybe this webinar is very interesting. It is not only for startups, and maybe large number of universities and professors and all are there, and students and entrepreneurs and so many. And thank you very much, and thank you. And thank you, Kaushik, and all my team members, and also Madam Anu. With all difficulties, he made it. And startup, even sometimes sometimes it's a network problem happens with across, and many from 200 to 30 there. It makes us very guilty for us. But sometimes some remote part of the country, the network is not good. We can't make it still. Even sometimes it's our network goes, we can try something. But the speakers also, many of the startups, they work in the remote part of the country and with the farmers. And I hope you won't mind it. Large number of you understand the difficulty, because many you may be good cities, we may be experiencing better bandwidth, other things, but other places still we face some issues. But it is thanks still you are all waiting, and we were part of this one and discussion going on. Some of them very quite interesting questions. It is not only speakers, there are entrepreneurs, and many they put very lot of insights, and it is even for all of us it is learning experience in the manage. We always go through these questions all, and even we are planning how we can make it something FAQs like that, so that we can circulate across the large number of stakeholders like that. It is really quite interesting, and also whomever we call, there are people with there are coming like today's speakers. All of them practitioners. They will come. It is not somebody will come and talk. And we see every time there are a lot of enthusiasm. We understand the questions when they are asking, and we are going forward. Even maybe you won't be surprised, next year there is another 52 webinars. All the Saturdays are available and different topics, and you are going to meet hundreds of startups and the ecosystem partners and across the country, and we will make it big way. And thank you very much for all of you. And once again, sorry for there is inconvenience. Sometimes the speakers are different part of the place they are coming, and we are unable to help it. We try our level best. We'll check it all, come back when exactly when we are starting, and somebody connecting from the side network goes. And I hope you all understand. And thank you very much for your all interesting insights and your participation, and both of the speakers and my team. There is our team from Manage, Dr. Sagar, and there is Yuvaraj, our business manager, and business executive, Mr. Kaushik, and there is all promos, social media, other things. There is a Mr. Siva, and also our Director General, always helpful for this type of initiatives to reach large number of stakeholders. Moreover, continuously our startups, Monday to Saturday, except Sunday, I hope. All the days they are with us, even though they are not physically with us at Manage, but they are all the way startups, very well connected. We feel something, all our family, even webinar, we see a lot of repeated customers, repeated attendees or participants, whatever you call. We are very happy to see you. And kindly, anybody interested, you can tell them also. It's because we want to take to large number of stakeholders, so that this startup ecosystem, it should not be like bubble, something people are telling, few people are benefited, others, because sometimes we also feel some startup are very smart and only they will get everywhere funding, everywhere they will go and incubate. Those things should not be. We need to see large number of players will come. The bigger startup ecosystem will emerge in the rural areas. It need to go. Agriculture, we can't talk in only Hyderabad or Bangalore or Delhi or somewhere only cities or next level cities. But this whole ecosystem and support service system, it should go for the village level. We are sure, very sure, there are large number of innovators are there in the villages, the real farmers. Many of them may be innovators. They may not really, they may not be aware, because with a lot of common sense, their experience, they will be having innovative ideas. Even our startups, those who want to start up, always discussing with farmers and staying sometime or visiting them, it will really gives the insights instead of only listening from vendors or taking from books or articles. But living sometime with or discussing sometime with farmers, it may change the whole idea or understanding about startups. With this, thank you very much and have a great Sunday or weekend. Thank you very much for all of you for with us, and take care. And thank you very much. We'll meet again and next week. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sarvanand sir, hello.
Yes. Yes.
I won't take more than a minute. I just want to submit my feedback. So I had been connected with Jagdish sir since last year, and he's the person he often make me remember about my PhD guide. And true mentor would always tell you the things which you might not be loving it, but he'll tell you the things which are right for you. So he's the very straightforward person. He has very niche understanding about this market, and this today's discussion, what he has taught us, would be really helping all of the startups, and we should be connected the person like him and take his guidance forward.
Yeah, we are connected actually. All our startups, he is very much regular with our mentoring sessions. We very well aware about him and he is coming. Thank you very much. Anyway, your point is well taken. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much.
Yes, nice listening to you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jagdish sir, and thank you, audience, especially because despite all the technical issues, you're still staying with us and for the sessions, and you are the live wire for us. And in the same way, we shall be meeting you on the next Saturday, 11 a.m. We shall be updating you on the social media as well as the emails. And we take this opportunity to thank everyone. Thank you, speakers, for sharing the experiences. Yeah, thank you.